Hi, this is Rick Levine for Tarot.com, here today to talk with you about the new moon in Scorpio on November 18th. And this occurs at 3:42 a.m., and that's Pacific Standard Time. This new moon in Scorpio, like every new moon, is the beginning of the next phase. However, in Scorpio, there's an interesting dilemma because the next phase is the phase of the end. What do I mean by that? Scorpio is the time of year when it's after the prettiness of the autumn, fall, everything, all the colors are in balance in Libra. The sun moves into Scorpio and it's like the leaves shrivel up and die. All right, so Scorpio is about that part of the cycle that's not visible. It's the magic that occurs after death and before rebirth. And I don't necessarily mean physical death and rebirth. It's the part of us that lets go and then connects to something in the future. It's the cycle in the year when we don't see the magic between the time when the leaves fall off the trees and the time when the magic of spring has everything growing anew again. So the new moon in Scorpio is the beginning of a cycle, and yet it's also the end of that which is obvious and apparent. Scorpio is a complicated sign. It's a sign of weighing and measuring and valuing what is of use and what is not of use, because there's this sense of how are we going to make it through the winter? What's going to survive? What's not going to survive? This particular new moon in Scorpio, although it can certainly stir up feelings of jealousy, of paranoia, of possessiveness in relationships, this new moon is quincunx to the planet Uranus. Uranus has been a player in the last several lunations, new moons and full moons, and it remains a player in this one, except this time the new moon is at odds with, but it can't quite grab that Uranian energy to bring it into its sight. Here's how it works. Uranus, the planet of independence, freedom, of awakening, of awareness, we can't figure out what it's telling us, and we can't figure out how to make it go away. It's like the mosquito in the tent that we're trying to go to sleep, and every time we start to doze off, we hear that buzzing again, and it makes us crazy. Uranus here is making us crazy, and I don't mean clinically crazy. I mean it's annoying us because it's tempting us with the possibilities of freedom and of newness and of the future, and yet our feelings, the new moon in Scorpio, the intensity and the passion and the power with which we feel doesn't go away. Just because we know what it could be or should be, we can't change what it is that we're feeling. The good news here, though, is that Uranus is in a harmonious relationship with Saturn, the planet of stability. We get to work with this energy, and boy, we need to, because the energy is deep. Scorpio's two key planets, Mars and Pluto. Mars is the traditional key or ruling planet for Scorpio. Pluto is the modern key or ruling planet for Scorpio. Scorpio's two key planets, Mars, the god of war, and Pluto, the lord of the underworld, of the hell realms. These two planets during this new moon are at odds. They're 90 degrees to each other. They're duking it out. And so we have some real deep, powerful stuff going on with the temptation of freedom over here, saying if you just cut and bail, everything will be cool, but it won't be because we can't make the feelings and the passion and the intensity go away. The lesson of this particular new moon is pretty simple, although it may be complicated to work with. The simple lesson of this moon is that when things are powerful, when passions are deep, that the more we put them into denial, the stronger they get. We have to shine the light of awareness, that's Uranus, the lightning. We have to shine the light of awareness into the dark to bring those hidden feelings out into the open where they are fully manageable. For Tarot.com, I'm Rick Levine.